conversation. Coming from Florida, right? You get into the college situation, and you decide to go to FAMU, right? Just kind of, I want you to give a perspective from where HBCUs were looked at back when you were coming out to just how much they, of course, good friends with Deion Sanders. He was at Jackson State. You see more of what the HBCUs have become, but just kind of give me that feeling of what it was like at the time to be a part of the HBCU in your college days.
I'm going to tell you, back when I was coming through, well, before me, with my parents, our parents, well, you had no other choice. That was your only option, was the black college scene. Well, when I came through, it was an option, but you had to choose that option. When you put all the buttons up there, it was Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Florida State, and those were the schools that everybody wanted to go to. So you had to go over there to the other side, other options, FAMU, Jackson State, Grambling, Alcorn. And I was raised in a black household, a black neighborhood, went to a black elementary. So everything about me, I did not. This is funny to me because when I hear white people say, I was 8 years old before I saw a black person. Well, I was 9 years old before I saw a white person that wasn't a police officer or a school teacher.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm you, vice versa. And so when Georgia, Alabama, and all these schools started coming to me, I reached out to my coach who went to Florida A&M. I said, man, fam, you haven't even called me. Grambling was the only person that offered me. The other black schools didn't. I'm like, Coach, what is it? I mean, I'm good enough for Georgia. I'm good enough for Florida. Arizona State I had committed to.
Right.
And he called up fam, and the coach told me, Coach Rudy Hubbard said, man, we just thought you was automatically going to go to a bigger school. But I was raised up, FAMU, Bethune-Cookman, the Classic. Every year, I'm jumping the fence half the time because the money my dad gave me, I wasn't going to buy no ticket. So I'm jumping the fence with the rest of the fellas.
Right.
So you had to almost choose this, especially if you were a gifted black athlete. You had to almost choose FAMU or Bethune-Cookman or Jackson State. You had to want to go there because that was in your blood. That was just in my blood. The difference between the bigger major universities and almost anything is, back in my day and even today, we make things an event. We don't go to a football game and fall in line with the regular cheers and give me a H and give me we got them Q dogs stepping, we got them Cowboys, them AKAs, them Devils, we got everybody. It's an event.
You are my favorite. Shout out to the AKAs. They're my favorite. I'm sorry.
The girls with the pink on, yeah.
They just do something to me.
Yeah, but see, that is the thing. Is football games were an event where if your football team wasn't no good, your band was going to be perfect. So it was the battle of the band. So, if the game was going shady during the game, halftime we had something to look forward to because we knew our band was going to challenge your band. So everything was an event, and no matter what it was. Even going to classes sometimes was an event because you have some people out there stepping up, something going on, or somebody that said something crazy, or So it wasn't your typical, punch the clock. Not at a black college. Now, I don't know if it's like that today, but back when I played, it was a choice that you had to make, a conscious choice, and everything was more of an event.
And it meant something to you, right?
Yeah,
it meant something to you.
When you went back home and you said, hey, I'm at FAM, everybody gets so excited. I'm at Bethune, everybody gets so excited. Even though you was enemies to the hilt, and still to this day, I ain't got nothing for them Babbitt Country Chumps. But that was in your blood. That's who you were. That was your community, and that's how you lived.
Do you feel like if fast forwarding to 2023, do you feel like, because you look at the big universities, right? You look at your Alabamas, you look at your Georgias, you look at you name the Power Five, the PWI, whatever it is fueled and it is run and it is promoted on the backs of black athletes, right? Like, we're talking about football, right? It's a 75, 80% that is backed by the black athlete. Do you feel like if more of the talented black athletes from Florida, Georgia, Bama, Texas, if those, and I know that we live in the NIL day money, right? This is NIL money day. But do you feel like things would be different if those athletes committed more to the HBCUs, more to the Jackson States, more to the Alcorns? Like how would that change the dynamics, in your opinion, of college football, college athletics in general?
Me and you both know. It ain't today. It's nothing about what the color is. The only color they worry about is the color of your money. And if you want things to change for Florida A&M, Bethune-Cookman, Jackson State, the SWAC, the MEAC, you're going to have to, as alumni and as boosters, start putting your money where your mouth at. See, this is one thing you cannot ask of a child or of a parent of a child, because they have great talent. You can't ask them to sacrifice. Hey, just do it for us. Them days are over. In the world of what you're going to give me, you cannot say, hey, Jess, you're the best guy. We want you to come to North Carolina A&T. And North Carolina is offering you $1,000 a week. Hey, man, we'll give you $1,000 a week. Come on over here. And I'm at North Carolina A&T, and not even going to say, hey, man, we can't give you 1,000, but we can give you 2. Or we can give, because I would not ask you, Jesse, to be loyal without some type of commitment from me. Right. And this is what blacks are asking their people to do. Hey, commit to me. Well, what is the commitment? Because what we told the NCAA and what we have always told the NCAA as blacks is, you were doing us wrong. We can't do what we want to do. We can't spend any money. We can't have any money. We can't do this. You hold us back. Well, that ain't the issue no more. That ain't the issue no more. The issue is everybody's on equal footing. Now, are you willing to build your program and direct your dollars to those athletes that you're asking to make a sacrifice? You got to do it. This is a new world we live in. And you blacks, parents, guardians, you are teaching your kids to be about self. They want their money. They want to be loved, and they want special conditions.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to give that, and I'm talking about the HBCU, I call them black colleges. I ain't changing. You black colleges that want that, get your boosters and your athletic directors and everybody funneling that money, funneling that program, because Georgia does not ask you to, hey, man, they mix both. At FAM, I know for a fact, they don't want to mix sports and education. Well, you can't go to Alabama and talk to Nick Saban, and Nick Saban say, well, what's your major? What you believe in? Because he believes that if you're trying to be, and I'll give you a perfect example. We got time.
Yeah, we got time.
My son was in business communications. Trey, my oldest boy at Texas. And I hope I got this story right. Maybe the program he was trying to get in is wrong. He went to coach. He said, man, coach said, boy, you about to graduate. Well, you going to get your master's? He said, yeah, and I'm trying to get into this program. Coach went over there. Said, hey, man, this one of our kids. He needs to be in here because he'll be a great representative, not only for our football team, but a great representative for your program. My son didn't let him down. They love him to this day. If you're not going to mix your education with your sport, you're doing your school a disservice. I've always questioned FAM. You don't want to mix sports, but all the teachers are at the football game if they're winning. All the teachers are at the basketball game if they're winning. But you're too good to bring these student athletes in. So what I'm saying to black people that are over black programs, take the black thing a little further. Take it a little further. And I ain't talking about your skin color. I'm talking about what's in your back pocket and what's in your bank account.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean that's a great answer, man. Like, it might be even biblical. They talk about, but where your interest lies, your heart lies, and where your heart lies, your money will be there.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You're gonna put your money where that heart is and where your interest lies.
Yes.
So if you want those programs to kind of grow and grow and grow, alumni, boosters,
Because it's on
people,
equal footing.
Yeah.
You finally have figured out, and thanks to the NCAA, they have put you on equal footing. The reason Georgia, Bama, and all these guys, before they came out with this new rule, the reason they was winning because they could, hey, what you need? We can get your mama a job. We can help your daddy. We can do this right here. Hey, you want something? See, I didn't understand at Georgia when they said, hey, man, what can we do for you? My brother, who was behind me, understood.
Right.
He got a whole lot of money. But me, I was like, what you mean, sir? No, I'm good. I'm going to fam. Yeah. I'm going to get some Popeye's chicken.
And I'll speak for me because I remember going through the recruiting process, and I ended up at University of North Carolina, a PWI. I knew.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There was two reasons. One, I knew I couldn't handle an HBCU.
Right.
As a young Jesse was easily distracted.
Right.
By what they had to offer at HBCU.
Yes, sir.
The AKA, the Deltas.
Yeah.
Like I was easily distracted.
Right.
And then I came to, if I was going to the South, once I found out about in the South, I would have been even more distracted. They go, well, come on in, let me give you some of this cornbread.
Right.
The kind on the stove.
Right.
Not the kind of not the
Right.
But that cornbread too. And I said, I couldn't handle that.
Right.
So I was like, I need to go to another. And then it was for me, it was the facilities, right? Like the University of North Carolina, when I went, they flew me out on a private jet.
Right.
Like I was like, what do you tell a kid from the inner city of New Jersey when I got to go to Teterboro Airport, and I didn't even know it was a Teterboro Airport at that point in time.
Right.
My grandmother knew. She said, well, that's what a private plane fly for. I said, private planes? I ain't never been on a plane before in my life.
That's right.
One of the planes you want to put me on one of the little ones? The
Right.
G's?
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, this different. And that, but I agree with you. I agree that the money could balance. It's tough because Texas A&M, my guy Tay, he's an Aggie, but that oil money longer.
That's right.
That's long oil money. But again, even when you buy the athletes, it doesn't necessarily equate to wins. You can look at Texas
You still
A&M.
got to put a program together.
Gotta put a program together.
And all that. I understand that.
Yeah.
But brother, great coaches have great players. We talk about it on our other shows we do.
Yep.
And the greater your players, all you have to do now is manage attitudes and characters. You ain't got to manage that talent because it's already there.
It's already there.